Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at part of this article here from the Detroit News that was published on October 2nd, all right, written by Melissa Nanberg. And then we're going to be looking at this article completely here from Crane's Detroit Business, written by Chad Livengood, published on October 2nd. All right. And yeah, let's get into the first one here because I want to show you how they're trying to frame this right now. Okay. Whitmer tightens beer virus restrictions in Upper Peninsula as case surges. Okay. Now look at the opening title here. Governor Gretchen Whitmer is reversing the reopening of Michigan's Upper Peninsula by a phase due to a recent surge in coronavirus cases. Beer virus cases in the region, her office said Friday. Whitmer signed an executive order moving the region back to phase 4 of the Michigan Safe Start Plan, effective at 12:01 a.m. October 9. Although, given the surge in cases, everyone should make this transition as swiftly as possible. Now, what I find funny is it's the 3rd. So we're basically, this was done on the 2nd. All right, because I'm recording this just after midnight. So this was done on a 2nd. She's doing this within a week. What? You don't think that if this was such an urgency, that week is going to matter? So obviously this is politics and bullshit when she's giving it a week. But she doesn't even have the power to do this, as we read on here. It was not immediately clear how Whitmer's latest order would be affected by a state Supreme Court ruling that she did not have the legal authority to issue mandates related to the pandemic after April 30, when the state lawmakers declined to extend the state of emergency in Michigan. Pretty cut and dry. Court ruled this. Okay, rulings take effect immediately, but guess what Whitmer's office says? This last line here. This is what Whitmer's office said. Late Friday, the ruling won't take effect for at least 21 days. Bullshit. Okay, it takes effect immediately. This is how deranged and deluded Whitmer and her staff are. It takes 21 days for it to come into effect. No, you stupid bitch. The second the judge rules something, or a judge rules something, it goes into effect immediately unless they specifically state otherwise. And they did not say that this goes into effect in 21 days. They said, your shit's unconstitutional. You can't do it. So that means you don't have this power. Fuck you. Get bent. You're a psycho bitch who seriously has control issues. Now, let's look about the ruling here. The article by Chad. Michigan Supreme Court rules against Whitmer's use of emergency powers law in pandemic. Okay. Pretty cut and dry. The Michigan Supreme Court on Friday struck a blow to Governor Gretchen Whitmer's governance of the state during the beer virus pandemic, ruling her use of a 1945 emergency power law violated the state constitution. That means it's unconstitutional. That means you can't have it. That means that it's instantly in effect. Fuck you, Whitmer. Deal with it. Whitmer has used the law since April 30 to issue executive orders under a state of emergency, regulating capacity limits in public-facing businesses, public mask use, school reopenings, and limiting the size of public and private gatherings. In a landmark 4-3 decision, the state's highest court ruled Whitmer's use, it should be Whitmer's use, not Whitmer use. Whitmer's use of the 1945 law is in violation of the Constitution of our state because it purports to delegate to the executive branch the legislative powers of state government, including its plenary police powers, and to allow the exercise of such powers indefinitely, which violates the state constitution, violates the U.S. Constitution too. Let's not leave that out because, it violates your inalienable rights that are in the Constitution, like the right to travel freely. The right to free speech, okay. The only people that she's allowing to have free speech are the ones that are looting, rioting, and burning shit down. So, yeah. Don't think so. 21 days, it won't go in effect. No, it's in effect now, bitch. You're trying to be a dictator. Hail Whitmer is over, bitch. Deal with it. As a consequence, the EPGA cannot continue to provide a basis for the governor to exercise the emergency powers the majority opinion states. So yes, she has no more power, but yet she's like, well, that ain't going to take effect in 21 days and I'm still going to do it. This bitch should be impeached. She should be recalled. This is the same bitch who won't publish all the numbers from the nursing homes, trying to fucking hide that she murdered a shit ton of old people by forcing the nursing homes to take in infected people, like that 20-year-old kid who beat the shit out of the old man that put him in a depression so he starved himself to death. That death is on this fucking douchebag. Yeah, but you didn't hear about that. You know, you might have heard about the 20-year-old kid that beat the snot out of the guy, but you didn't hear about the fact that it permanently, like, emotionally scarred him to where he starved himself to death. That death is on her, besides all the ones that died from actual fucking beer virus. This bitch should be federally investigated, okay, and criminally fucking charged for the shit she pulled as the governor of Michigan. And she's openly defying the court, saying, well, that doesn't go into effect for 21 days. No, bitch, it's instant. Fucking psycho wench. Oh. The Supreme Court's ruling says Whitmer lacked the authority to declare a state of emergency or a state of disaster under a 1976 emergency management law after April 30th, the last day the legislature authorized the governor to declare the state under emergency. Yes, because there's supposed to be checks and balances, and the state legislature said, fuck you. But she didn't care. The majority opinion was signed by Republican-nominated Justice Stephen Markman, Brian Zahara, David Viviano, and Beth Clement. The ruling throws into doubt Whitmer's continued use of the 1945 emergency power law issuing executive orders. No, it doesn't throw it into doubt. It completely destroys it. She does not have the power to use it. Throws into doubt. No, it literally destroys her ability to use it. Doesn't throw into doubt. She does not have the power. The Democratic governor will instead why is there an of there? It should be the Democratic governor will instead have to negotiate with the Republican-controlled legislature for legislative restrictions to economic activity for protecting public health during the ongoing pandemic. Yeah, checks and balances. Since March, the beer virus has sickened more than 125,000 Michigan residents and is blamed for the deaths of 6,788 residents. Way more than that. She's lying about the numbers because she killed so many old people. She's hiding them. She's denying Freedom of Information Acts on the numbers. This bitch is psycho. This is a great day for the people of Michigan. Michigan Republican Party Chairwoman Laura Cox said Friday in a statement. The court rightfully recognized that the Constitution gives the legislature a role to represent the people of the state. Yeah, checks and balances. Governor Whitmer overexerted her powers. The legislature wants to be a willing partner in dealing with beer virus, and Governor Whitmer should recognize their duly delegated role, as in they have, like, you know, basically have more control than she does, because, you know, they, from the sound of things, the way that they've set up their state constitution and that is the legislature makes it so that the Constitution makes it so that the state legislature keeps the governor, like, in check. She don't like that because she's about a power. She's a power hungry psycho bitch. She's about a power grab. The state Supreme Court's ruling came hours after the governor used the 1945 law to impose new restrictions on mask use and business activity in the Upper Peninsula, citing a surge in cases threatening public health in Michigan's northernmost region. Those new restrictions weren't supposed to go into effect until October 9th. Well, here's the thing. You don't think she conveniently said, oh shit, the ruling's coming down, I'm going to put this out there before then, and then deny that the ruling stops me from doing it? That's exactly what she did. She's playing friggin' games here. The High Court's ruling also came on the same day President Donald Trump announced he tested positive for beer virus, renewing national debate over mask use, which public health experts say greatly reduces the transmission of airborne pathogen. On the advice of the White House doctor, the president was hospitalized on Friday. This has nothing to do with it, but you're trying to throw this in to say, oh, well, yeah, look at this, you know, trying to slant the news, whatever. But here's the thing, okay? When you have from the University of Minnesota, from their CIDRAP, CIDRAP, I believe it is. I can't think of what it stands for. A report where two experts go through all of the data on mask wearing and say, well, they don't show that they actually help, but, you know, to make people happy and to keep up the fucking sham, and it might actually have some effect, just wear them. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but that's kind of the gist of it. The court's high ruling was in a lawsuit sent to the state Supreme Court by U.S. District Judge Paul Maloney, a Kalamazoo-based federal judge in the Western District of Michigan. The lawsuit was brought by 3 medical groups in West Michigan, the Grand Health Partners in Grand Rapids, Primary Health Service PC in Leadington, and Wellston Medical Center in rural Manistee County. The 3 medical groups sued Whitmer, challenging her spring executive order that prohibited doctors and medical facilities from performing elective procedures in an effort to preserve personal protection equipment when it was in short supply during the early days of the pandemic, which was because the bitch dragged her fucking feet. Let's explain why. The bitch dragged her feet. She didn't lift a finger to do a goddamn thing about getting PPE, and she expected the government to just hand her the fucking shit instead of doing her job as the representative of that state and making sure that the state had its needs taken care of. Let's be honest about that, because that's what happened. The Michigan legislature made a similar challenge to Whitmer's use of the 1945 law in a case that is also before the Supreme Court. Well, here's the thing. Those doctors are sitting there. Those medical facilities are not being used. Okay, there's no people. They're not part. They didn't have any patients that had beer virus. Okay, you had people that needed their to have procedures that they were classifying elective, like fucking chemotherapy. Let's leave that out too. Whitmer and her fucking bunch labeled things like chemo fucking therapy as elective. I'm surprised they didn't label dialysis as a fucking elective the way how retarded they are. But yeah, so basically, you got Whitmer with this saying, oh, well, that won't go into effect for 21 days. No, it goes into effect now. You don't have any power. You tried to play a fucking shady game. You slipped your fucking order out right before the ruling was to come down because you knew it was coming down. And now you want to play this game of, well, they have no power over me for 21 days. That ain't how it works, bitch. That isn't how it works. So yeah, guess what, Whitmer? Fuck you. Your bullshit has been ruled bullshit. It's been ruled unconstitutional, been ruled illegal. Oh, this bitch, you need to get a clue. She really does. And you know she's going to try to force this and push it even harder. And she's going to try to defy the state's Supreme Court. You know it. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm leaving things here.
If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.